The Sonic community is notoriously on every corner of the internet, as far as I can see it. Love it or hate it, you can't deny the passion people have for this blue hedgehog. Some express it through beautiful, gorgeous artwork that can bring the community together or create a whole movement because of a single piece of work. Corn Art is a beacon of the Sonic fan art community. His artwork inspired an honest-to-God Silver the Hedgehog renaissance. Music, artwork, concept designs, all for a game that does not exist. Solo Silver game coming soon, right guys? Right? Oh. Some create music, whether it be remixes of tracks already iconic to fans or completely new music. T. Lopes is a musical artist that started out with simple remixes of tracks as early as 16 years ago. Oh, what's that? Oh, you just, composed the music for my favorite Sonic game of all time, no big deal. Some gather entire teams of people to bring a vision to life. The fangame scene is simply huge. Everywhere you look, Sonic Galactic, Triple Trouble 16-bit, before and after the sequel, Sonic World DX, and so many more that if you try to name them all, you'd probably spend a week naming off titles. It doesn't matter where you snoop around, someone is expressing their love in a different way. Though I'd love to shed a spotlight on every single one of these, I'll cover one huge scene: Sonic mods. Mods are just short for modification, in this case a modification to a game. It can be as simple as changing a character's sprites to feature a Skrunkle, or turning Sonic 1 into something irrecognizable. At this point in the video already, I need to make a distinction between fan games and mods because some of these simply go beyond. I'll consider a fan game anything that changes the base game to a point where the resemblances are very few. I say this because there's a few mods that change your gameplay drastically. The Portal in Sonic 2 and Classic Heroes mods make the base game completely different gameplay wise. Hell, any mod that brings in a new moveset into the game, but you're still playing the same levels with the same music, enemies, etc. Some don't change your moveset at all and are simple sprite swaps. Then there's Mario and Sonic 1. Speaking of that actually, I do need to bring something up. Initially, mods for the Genesis games came through the way of ROM hacks, basically taking a replica of the game through a ROM and modifying it to your heart's content, and these were the only real way to play these mods for a good while. Though with projects such as Sonic 1 Forever, Sonic 2 Absolute, and Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited, mods really just became way more accessible than before, a lot more practical even. Speaking of these Genesis games, let's start with the quintuplet of the classic Sonic games. Good old Sonic 1. The most bare-bones Sonic experience ever. You got your jumping, rolling, running around, and yeah, that's about it. This is by far the Sonic game with the most interesting mods. Sprite swaps, different movesets, you can find it if you look hard enough. Sonic the Hedgehog Forever is basically a remaster of Sonic 1, expanding it to have a much wider scope than ever intended. You got your customizable moveset, achievements, separate save files, the whole shebang. For Sonic 2 and CD, being the middle children of the franchise, they'll still get some attention, just not as much as 1 and 3, but what's there is pretty neat. I remember seeing this Portal mod for Sonic 2 way back in the day in 2016, and I could just not believe my eyes. Keep in mind, I was a mere 10-year-old seeing Sonic the Hedgehog using a goddamn portal gun. I'd argue Sonic 2 has the most infamous mods of the entire fandom, because who could ever forget the onion rings? Oh, the onion rings. For Sonic CD, the modding scene isn't nearly as big, most probably because you need to decompile the game. What's there is pretty damn cool though. A highlight for me is Sonic CD Miracle Edition, which adds a few quality of life features, which is all well and good, but what if the time stones had a bigger gameplay incentive for you to get them? Miracle is the name of the form given to those who possess the Time Stones, turning Sonic and the other playable characters into this very pleasant pink. It more or less just acts like a super form with the added gimmick of being able to freely time travel whenever you want. Do you understand the implications of this? That there's a fan form that can freely move across time. Please don't let the Twitter power scaler see this, I beg to you. Sonic 3 is easily the game that receives the most mods though. It's like Sonic 1 and 2 on Overdrive. Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited is the main source of it all. It's a perfect port really. Completely legal too, since it requires the official Sonic 3 in your Steam Oh, right. Angel Island Revisited makes modding extremely easy, simple as plopping a folder inside of another and enabling the mod in game. As for variety, if you can think of a mod for Sonic 1 or 2, it most likely exists for Sonic 3 too. Yes, even that one. I don't know why, but hey, at least you can play FNAF in this one. One of the many highlights is Amy Galore by Team Galore. Having a wide variety of different moves to choose from, the same team bringing this absolutely insane Metal Sonic mod, which features the same amount of customizability, really emphasizing flexibility in their work. I gotta warn you though, some of these abilities are kind of OP. I don't think Sega made these levels with the intent of being played with double jumps or spammable projectiles. Alternatively, you could always go for a new coat of paint on your blue hedgehog. Game Banana has literal thousands of different skins, the sky's the limit pretty much. Moving right along into, Sonic Mania, gosh. This one was the most insane for me because I was obsessed. Every day, one of the first things I did was hop on Game Banana to see what new mods were uploaded. Seriously, I have an incredible nostalgia for the modding scene of this game. The outdated memes of repainted, the awfulness of Ugandan Knuckles. Why must you persist? Real highlight was the sprite art made by Hortinus. Hortinus? Whatever. The dude has seemingly disappeared off the internet, but he's the creator of these modern Sonic sprites, as well as this infamous animation that used to make the rounds on the internet, and still does. His whole thing was being able to mimic the Mania style of shading incredibly well, making sprites from modern Sonic, Shadow, Heisei Sonic, or even Metal Sonic, as well as making a bunch of sprite art on what different characters would look like if given the Mania polish. Naturally, the Mania modding scene didn't restrict itself to just simple skins, no. It's what you'd expect from a classic Sonic title. Custom levels, movesets, it's really nothing you haven't seen so far, but this holds a real dear space in my heart. Sonic Mania is by far my favorite Sonic game in terms of gameplay. In my old laptop, I probably had over 2 GB dedicated only to mods of the game, and over 100 hours on Steam. Middle school me was an absolute sucker for this game. Another mod that got extremely popular, it's Amy. It's Amy again. Playable Amy by Tube Sushi, codenamed Gamma, and their team brings Amy Rose into yet another game where she was unfortunately left out. Custom moveset, gorgeous sprites, and even custom artwork for the ending of the game. Of course, all of this is possible because of the Mania mod loader by Main Memory. A lot of the games moving forward have dedicated mod loaders, but it's not much more complex than having to load new game files, putting your mod in the right folder, and enabling it in the loader itself. Moving away from the classic games and going right towards the adventure era, for Sonic Adventure DX, most of the modding scene centers around bringing back what was lost in the porting process. Initially having coming out on the Dreamcast more than 20 years ago, once the PC ports released, fans started digging into the game files. The thing is that with the ports came specific issues with lighting and effects that did not make an effective jump to PC, spawning full-blown restoration and enhancement projects that completely transformed the experience, swapping textures, bringing old models back, tweaking lighting. It's really quite amazing. Sonic Freak 94 and PKR combined made tons of mods to bring SA1 to its former glory, bringing back the old ambiance, the cuter, lower polygon models, effects that were completely messed up. Hell, even the water needed to be fixed by mods. The same holds true for Sonic Adventure 2 with its own restoration project, although the mods more so tend to be what you already expect them to. Character mods, custom levels and all, but one I'd like to show as an example of how fun this community can be at times is the Surge Mix mod. Originally made by Sean Guku, it features a brand new model for Surge, including a super form that looks sick as hell, but it didn't stop there. One creator loved the mod so much they decided to expand on it, PK Ben adding new assets to the game to enhance the Surge 10 Rec experience, even featuring new voice lines and adverts. It's just really cool to see a collaboration between two people that just like the character so much, one just built on top of what another did to enhance the original mod. Another mod I'd like to highlight is the Randomizer mod. It got fairly popular by a few creators covering it, leading to a lot of funny hijinks. Moving right along to the GameCube era, Sonic Heroes Shadow 2005 and Sonic Riders Give Me a Break, as they don't feature nearly as robust of a modding scene. While Heroes and Riders received PC ports, Shadow was left kind of homeless. The closest you can really get is by emulating his game, unfortunately. That doesn't mean that a modding scene does not exist, though most of the mods you'll see for these games are, updated textures, fixes and tweaks to the original games to bring them to a more up-to-date standard. featured, such as the Sonic Heroes 6th Edition mod by Raphael Drew Boltman, Do Not Stop Gaming, as well as a lot more contributors. Moving right... oh. Okay. Sonic Generations is a game celebrating Sonic's 20th anniversary. It also has a completely insane modding scene. It is undoubtedly the most modded Sonic game of all time. New stages, new characters, overhauled graphics. There's plainly just too much. For character mods, you have your popular character choices. Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Silver, Shadow, and Blaze have their own mods, of course, but Sonic Generations' modding scene is so insanely huge that Scourge, Sally Acorn, Mighty, Ray, that damn bastard Mario, Crash Bandicoot, even modern IDW characters like Tango and Whisper have made the cut. Nearly every character you can think of has been modded into this game. Okay, between you and me, I looked for it and I can't prove it yet, but I'm certain that there's an Antoine mod for this game. I just know it. Oh, you want to play Sonic? Cool, here's a mod that replicated the SA1 moveset. Mods that alters classic Sonic's appearance to fit previous entries. Multiple mods that change Sonic's appearance, from Sub Shoes to Transfam Sonic. Oh, what's that? One brand new stages with original assets? Yeah, why not? Mystic Cave, Aquarium Park. Hell, you don't want to play Sonic Generations, of course. Here's a whole recreation of Sonic Unleashed stages, all within Sonic Generations. I cannot overstate how massive the modding scene for Generations is. And the crazy part is, with Shadow Generations coming out, it's reignited the flame, spawning its own character replacement, skins, gameplay adjustment, and fixes. And there's a reason as to why the game is modded so frequently. And it's not just because the game's good, of course. As my helpful friend Jaco put it, quote, Sonic Generations was the first mainline Sonic game to get a PC release since probably Sonic Adventure 2. And since Sega wasn't forcing the nouveau down our throats back then, it probably made Sonic Generations the go-to Sonic game for modding. Sonic Generations stands out as such a specific case for me because generally no Sonic game has come close to this level. Lost World, certainly not. Forces, no. Certainly none of the Boom games. Even the more recent relevant titles like Sonic Frontiers, who has its own pretty awesome modding fanbase, okay, who the fuck, just pales in comparison with Generations. Doesn't help that the game's been out for more than a decade at this point either. To cap off this video, one that I think is more unique than, frankly, any of these though is Sonic Unleashed. It's a really beloved game even nowadays, some even saying it's got the best modern Sonic stages ever, best Sonic voice acting and characterization ever, and people tolerate the Werehog. Because of this, for years the people were clamoring for a port, a remaster, an ultimate edit, okay, maybe not that last one, anything to bring it to PC devices. Then, on a fateful day, a recomp was published by HedgeDev and the rest is history. And I call this unique because when have you ever heard of a game being recompiled by fans, and that being the reason people can finally mod this beloved game for the first time? People were eager too, and I can't really fault them in the slightest. You can't go wrong updating the textures of the game. It's just a few years away from being 20 years old. Oh god. I'm out of Sonia of all characters and so many more. A fan favorite is this Hatsune Miku mod that replaces Chip, and god, it's just adorable. Though, obviously, it pales in comparison to Green Amy. In conclusion, the modding community for the Sonic games is just amazing. From the older releases to the most recent title in the franchise already receiving its several mods, there's just such a deep level of passion for each of these fan projects that goes unrivaled by any other fandom. Even more so by being endorsed by Sega themselves. Whether it just be good PR or marketing for a billion-dollar company, it's a good refresher given Sega's track record of gathering fans to even work on their games, or shouting out artwork in their social media. Whichever the case, it really just shows how eager people are to modify their favorite games to showcase what they can do. From adjusting character models, voice lines, or just adding their own OCs. Hell, adding characters from completely different franchises into the game in scenarios you could never think of. From Kasane Teto to William Afton!